Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Hearthstone deck spotlight. My name is Tommy Wave, and today we'll be taking a look at JamieG's Token Druid version 3. This is a deck that we've played before. We've played the Token Druid version 2.0 before, and it was a pretty interesting one. Previous versions of Token Druid that we had played focused more on Crystal Song Portal and other grindy elements, playing a bit of a minion light version to get value out of the Crystal Song Portal. Obviously, because if you don't have any minions in your hand, it's a lot better than if you do. However, JamieG's version focused more on playing those good minions, things like Direwolf Alpha, getting extra 1-drops in the deck, as well as playing some interesting higher end cards like Eccentric Scribe and the Sea Giant. However, it looks like they've revised the list and they've actually made quite a significant number of changes. I think 6 cards got cut and 6 cards got added. One of the cards that we talked about quite a lot was there was a Hench Clan Hogsteed in the deck, which is the this boy. There was 2 Hench Clan Hogsteeds in the deck, and I think we talked a fair bit about, is this card better than Knife Juggler? Knife Juggler is obviously great in a lot of these aggressive decks, particularly ones where you can spit out, 2 minions at a time with Dreamway Guardians and Landscaping, or 3 minions at a time with Microtech Controller, and obviously all the other token effects. And I like that they've chosen to cut the Hogsteed and go for the Knife Juggler, because the Hogsteed felt okay, but it wasn't amazing, and I think Knife Juggler could, in fact, be amazing in this deck. Other cards that have changed, we've actually got the 2 Whispering Woods in here now, which is something that was lacking. I think Whispering Woods is one of the most powerful cards in the deck. It really, your opponent does have to respect it, else they, risk you jamming out 2 Blessing of Ancients, Power of the Wild, or at worst, Soul of the Forest. I think if you ever get a Whispering Woods for 4 or more, and then hit it with a Soul of the Forest, you're pretty likely to win that game. So I like getting the Whispering Woods back in here. As far as the other changes go, we've cut the Leroy, cut the Eccentric Scribe, and cut the Sea Giant, and got the second Forest Aid in here. So I think maybe that means that through playing some more games, JamieG has realized that Forest Aid is simply just the best late game option to be playing. The cutting of Leroy, I think, is quite interesting, losing quite a lot of reach, but maybe we are just planning on steamrolling through and crushing our opponent, and we don't need that kind of reach. But something we'll definitely keep an eye out for is how many games do we get our opponent down to single digits and we just can't convert that to a win. As far as other changes go, some minute ones, cutting 1 Argent Squire, so we've only got 3 1-drops. We'll see how that goes. I can't say I'm a fan of it. I think 4 1-drops kind of felt pretty good in this deck, but it might be the case where we do need to try a lot of different numbers, 5, 3, 6 maybe, to truly figure that out. Other than that, that's about it. So we're definitely going to jump into some games. Like we always say, it's not exactly about winning the games. It is about learning our way around the Token Druid archetype, and particularly with these kinds of changes, figuring out what the best Token Druid deck looks like. So without further ado, let's jump into some games and see how we go. Alright, we're here with JamieG's Token Druid. Send back these Savage Raws. Keep the Knife Juggler. Obviously with the only 3 1-drops in the deck, we're much less likely to hit one. But sometimes, better lucky than good. Okay, alright, calm down. Calm down, Acorn Bearers. So pretty... not a lot of grind here. I think we can do it. Now, we could go for this Knife Juggler. The risk is that maybe our opponent has like a coin SI7. So maybe we instead want to go for like Dreamway Guardians. Maybe we'll try and build up to a situation where we're at 3 or 4, 5 mana. We can go Knife Juggler, and then pop out a bunch of squirrels. But if our opponent doesn't have the SI7, it's pretty good for us.
Time waits for no one.
We'll just go for the Dreamway Guardians.
What shall we hunt?
I mean, I think it's more likely that our opponent's going to try and get a raiding party off. Miscreant. It's kind of tempting to just go Acorn Bearer Power of the Wild here. Our opponent has coined. We could even trade in.
This be our neck of the woods.
Oh, let's go for it.
Nuts to you.
Got one. Got one.
Especially if our opponent's coined there. They might be a bit tight on resources. We just got to hope that the lackeys that they got aren't too good. Particularly, we really don't want them to have the 2 damage lackey. Daggering up is a good sign. The other thing is, even if they do have lackeys, we have the swipe. Yeah, let's just keep
Put this apple on your head.
keep pushing through.
Nuts to you.
Got one.
Nuts to you.
Yeah. Especially with a swipe in hand, our opponent having to rely on a dagger to clear things. Opponent's going to need something really extraordinary to get out of this. A pretty risky play on our part.
Double time and double pay.
Ooh, this could be dangerous. 2 more lackeys incoming.
Oh, up to no good.
Double time and double pay.
They have another shadow step. Transform. Oh, the taunt as well.
Incredible.
Incredible indeed. What can we do here? Can we do a reasonable amount of damage to that? I don't think so. I think we just go face and then bash it. Although if we hit this with it, then it's out of the way. Maybe we want to do that instead. We do miss some damage though. That's the that's the problem. I guess cringeworthy. Oh my gosh.
Nuts to you.
Gracing the chat with his presence. Have you been, friend? Where have you been? I guess that's the other question. Always jet setting around? Oh no. That's not good.
This guy's toast.
Okay. We got a real game. We do have this forest save though, which gives me quite a lot of confidence. So, what do we want to do here? Do we want a hero power? I guess that's the question. Or do we want to just deploy as many things as possible? I think I want a hero power this turn. Just get that extra damage in.
What to do?
I mean, this is definitely
Neck
happening.
of the woods.
I think the main thing that makes me want to hero power here is that if this game gets to a situation where all we're doing over the next couple of turns is just trading all of our resources, you know, our opponent's really just trying to rush, really. Our opponent's just trying to stop us from having anything on board, then we just kill our opponent over, you know, 5 turns with our hero power. And unless they have a taunt, which typically these decks do not have very many of, we should be good. Home in Brisbane right now. We're back in Melbourne for BAM in May. Oh my gosh, it's coming up that quickly. My internet is trash, so expect 30 seconds between responses. You know what? That's okay. I think that's totally acceptable, totally understandable.
Job's done.
So now that we hit our opponent to 2, they can't use their dagger to trade into anything. Else we just hero power and kill them. But they're also in our realm with the Forest Sage. Hopefully they don't have a Togwaggle. I think Togwaggle could get pretty risky.
Oh, up to no good.
Another Miscreant.
Bubble, bubble. Sweet treats for shrunken heads.
Alright, what do I got? Not Doomsayer. How unfortunate. Ooh. Yeah, okay. I was gonna do Forest Aid, but I think we want to do Eccentric Scribe and Hero Power here. Now our opponent does either have to kill us this turn, have like a sap for this Eccentric Scribe, and also put up a taunt. There's just a lot our opponent has to do here. Prep sap? Prep a Fizz, and then they can trade. Okay, they still have to get the taunt up. Ban! Wow, that's excellent. Pick. But do they have any way to gain any type of armor? Get a 10. Got him. Yeah, so definitely that turn where we did have to think about do we want a hero power or not was extremely relevant. As if our opponent was on 2 in that situation rather than 1, we would have lost that game. So GG's. GG's. Well played to our opponent. That was a tight one. I think especially with Token Druid, learning our way around that tempo roguey kind of matchup, lackey rogue, is going to be really important, as both of these decks are extremely popular on the ladder right now. GG. Alright, we're here with JamieG's Token Druid version 3. And this episode's comment comes from Theo. I don't think that this is talking about the last version of the deck that we played, the version 2.0. I don't think that the Argent Squires and Leroy are that important to this deck. I've played this version and had some success with it, however, it seems to run out of steam pretty fast. I think that Cult Masters should definitely be included in decks like this, since they are the only way to draw cards, and also they act as soft taunts. Rather small ones, but soft taunts nonetheless. That's an interesting thought. Obviously we're playing the deck without Leroy's, so we are going to find out if Leroy is important to the deck. As far as the Argent Squires go, I'm not sure if it's the Argent Squires that are important, or if it's simply just the number of 1-drops in the deck that are important. Obviously we're playing with 3. Wow, this deckhand matches up so well with this Direwolf Alpha. I think we're just going to Hero Power. We can save the Direwolf Alpha as a kind of semi-removal tool. Now, talking about the Cult Master, though, I think it's really hard because I had the same thought as well, that Cult Master would be really good at making the deck a bit grindier. But after initially playing the deck kind of grinds fine on its own. Especially with Forest Aid and with the addition of Eccentric Scribe. It really does a good job at always having resources, always being able to do things. So I think if you were to create a Token Druid that was a lot more low to the ground, didn't have Forest Aid, didn't have Eccentric Scribe or any of those higher drops, 100% I would look at Cult Master to do something. But yeah, I think we should probably give it a try regardless. So thanks to Theo for that one. Our opponent is gone pretty ham here. Lots and lots of resources. Cynics only had a 3-day work week and now have a 10-day break. Oh my gosh. Lucky duck. It's been a long time since I've had a break like that. 10 days?
Clear the deck.
Yeah, wow. I can't actually remember the last time. I think a couple of years ago, had a kind of 2-week break, went up to Brisbane. This is rough. Unfortunately, Microtech Controller doesn't match up well against a lot of the... well, against this current board. Swipe is also just not great. How do we feel about, like, Direwolf Alpha Power of the Wild? Maybe not. Maybe we just got to slow this game down and rely on our top end to take care of things. But this is a pretty scary game. I think it's often decided, a scary matchup as well. It's often decided as to who gets in front of the opponent,
Blood
who gets ahead.
thunder.
This is not bad for us though. Everyone's hitting rush minions. Alright.
I wonder.
And I guess we could just swipe again. Yeah. I mean, if we Microtech Controller Direwolf Alpha, we lose basically all of it for nothing.
I wonder.
If we Microtech Controller Power of the Wild, we will lose less, but that's a lot of resources to lose. This is so many buff. So I think we will go for the swipe. It's unfortunate, but maybe we can rally around this Eccentric Scribe. We haven't taken too much damage. The only thing is, they haven't played a sap yet, and this guy, ooh, let me tell you, he loves to get sapped. I played Hearthstone from 2014 to 2016, but haven't really since. So your commentary is really helpful. No worries, no worries. If you've got any questions, even if it's just about, like one of the common things that happens is people just have questions about mechanics that they've never seen. Feel free to ask. Always happy to explain anything that might need explaining. Now we have an option. We could go for the Knife Juggler with the Microtech Controller. I think we'll go for the Scribe, just to see if there is any saps or anything waiting for us. It's also dangerous if they have like a Fan of Knives, as they can trade with the pick and then fan. But yeah, especially if you've missed you know, two or 3 years worth of expansions. Bounce, fan, or just choops and attack. Yeah. Prep fan? Sure.
Ha! This guy's toast.
The Brotherhood shall prevail.
Big Van Cleave. Yeah, I guess that's the other part of things. This deck can't really deal with Van Cleave too well.
Put this apple on your head. Okay, Itchy, go get him. What shall we hunt? What shall we hunt?
I think this was also incorrect ordering. I think we should have played the Dreamway Guardians first. No, I guess we didn't want to. I guess we did want these weaker minions in the middle for this Direwolf Alpha. But let's see if we live. Looks unlikely. Extremely unlikely. So our opponent had a tremendous start there. I think they made the correct choice. If they were umming and ahhing about it, they made the correct choice to go for that like coin miscreant prep raiding party. I wonder if they had the Van Cleef in their hand when they did that, because that would have been a really tough choice to make. But yeah, regardless, our opponent definitely did get ahead of us. You kind of saw that. I guess that's the kind of downside of Microtech Controller, is that if your opponent's out ahead of you, oftentimes the entire Microtech Controller can be pretty easily traded with. So GG's, well played. Okay, up against another rogue here. We are on the coin, so... Do we keep a landscaping? See if our friend HS Replay can help us out here. What kind of win percentage are we looking at for... Let's see. No, we're not playing the Crystal Song Portal version. Oh my gosh, come on. Yep, this version's close enough. Mulligan win rate. Okay, pretty low. Send it back. I think my thoughts... I think landscaping is maybe our best 3-drop in this matchup. However, we also do really want to hit those 1-drops. I think we just offer up this Knife Juggler for a trade. With this kind of hand texture, I think we're more looking to take advantage of Whispering Woods than that Knife Juggler. Them busting out this SI7 is actually, I think, very good for us. Low on resources. Let's see if they've got like a raiding party to restock or an evil miscreant to kind of keep pushing through. We do have the swipe as well, so if our opponent gets a bit cheeky. Yeah, let's just shut this down. There's a risk that if we go for Whispering Woods that our opponent just has a fan back, and I think we get pretty close to losing that game if they do. Ruru? What's the story, Scoob? What do you got there? What do you got in your mouth? I do like to think that that's kind of what the Blink Fox is doing. You just see it kind of vaguely chewing. You're like, what have you got in your mouth? Dog owners know what I'm talking about. Alright, show me what you got. There it is. Solar Forest incoming. Or is this prep fan? Alright, I think we have to go for Blessing and Soul and actually do some trading here, which is unfortunate, but necessary. Still have 2 boys up. Next turn we've also got Vargoth, Blessing of Ancients, so our opponent has to do something pretty spicy here. And we even have the Forest Aid to back it up. This is kind of what we were talking about when with the Cult Master. That like at any point on this curve, if we had played Cult Master, would it have actually been like, especially in this matchup, it doesn't allow us to get back like ahead on the board or to kind of come back on board. But also, like we've had things to do at all points throughout the game, except for turn 1. And of course, Cult Master doesn't exactly help us on turn 1. Great. So yeah, I mean, we could go Whispering Woods, Blessing of Ancients, but I think getting this Vargoth out is really going to frustrate our opponent. Not so much concerned with our opponent having like a vanish or anything like that. And because these are beyond out of the range of Fan of Knives, I think we don't need to do what we usually do when you solo the forest, which is to kind of make sure that you're holding on to your death rattles as long as possible in case your opponent does have the board clear. Alright, let's take a look at the deck. Unfortunately, sorry to everyone who was hoping that we maybe played against not rogues, as that's all we were doing today. As far as the deck goes and as far as the changes go, I really like Knife Juggler, even though we never really saw it, you know, do what we want it to do. It was always a threat, your opponent has to answer it, and that's really important in this kind of deck. The Tech Swampoos, not so much. One thing that we did notice is we obviously missed our 1-drops in 2 of those games, and they were both games that if we had had a 1-drop, I think would have been looked a little different, as our opponent in most of them was getting ahead of us. We had to rely on swipes to get back into the game. So I think that's something that does need to be looked at. Is I think we do need a 4th, possibly a 5th 1-drop in here. As far as the card selections go, Whispering Woods is phenomenal. We're very glad that we have this in the deck. I'm kind of not liking this Eccentric Scribe, to be honest. I think that, especially with so many rogues in the meta, this is your biggest liability card in that matchup. So if you are considering playing this deck and you are facing a lot of rogues, consider cutting it. Maybe get the 2nd Acidic Swampoos in, or the other 1-drop, or maybe try out Cult Master. This is definitely a deck that has a lot of flexibility in there, and you're doing yourself a disservice if you don't, explore the archetype and try some of your own things. Regardless, big shout out to JamieG for the deck. Of course, big shout out to them as well for constantly experimenting and trying to push the archetype, which I really appreciate. If you are watching on YouTube, of course, all the links are in the description. So please jump over to the Hearthstone deck article. Please give JamieG a +1 and leave a lovely, thoughtful comment, like I know you will. All of my details will be in the description as well, including a link over to Twitter. That's the best place to catch me at Tommy_Wave, or live here on Twitch at Tommy_Wave as well. Watch me Miss Lethal live in stereo. But until next time, please stay safe, stay wavy, eat the rich, and be eccentric. Bye. I hope you enjoyed that video. Check out other ones over here, or come subscribe to the Wave Pool for more excellent times.